Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching. My name is Yadira. Today I'm going to be going over the handbags that I have sold, why I sold them, and what did I buy instead. If you're into that, I hope you'll stay tuned and you'll decide to subscribe. If you are new, welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. Let's get into the very first handbag that I had sold. The very first one is by Gucci. This is the Soho small chain crossbody bag in the shade black. This one, I really liked it because it was something that I can tuck in the chain and use it as a clutch, and it was a crossbody and also a shoulder bag at the same time. It also did come with a tassel, which was like an added bonus. This was a small compact bag that had a washable cloth material. I actually purchased that bag pre-owned, so I did have to clean it whenever I did get it because it did have a lot of makeup stains in it. So I used a bar soap called I'll put an image of that here. This was a very great soap that I was able to use with a little toothbrush to be able to pick up all the debris, and it was brand new all over again. And then it was also black, which is black as a neutral and a staple, and you can pretty much mix and match with any outfit. The chain was a light gold hardware, so it was soft enough that it can be a silver and also perfect with gold. So with all of those pros, the reason why I sold it was because the handbag was too small. So at the time that I had purchased it, I think I was maybe like 18 years of age, and at that time I didn't really carry too much. But then I was also in college where I really couldn't use it. It was too small for me, so I wasn't reaching for it. And then the second reason why I sold it was because the opening, it had a very strong magnet, which now thinking about it now, it's kind of perfect for traveling, like for pickpocketers. Like you really had to struggle to open it, so it would be perfect for those kind of situations. From an everyday practical use and standpoint, it was hard. You literally had to tug and fight with the magnet to open the bag every time that you needed to get into it. And I find that every time that I was opening it, I was kind of stressing the leather around the bottom portion of where that magnet base was at. So I didn't eventually want to start having it peel or tear. So I just decided that, you know, while it was a great small bag and I did enjoy it for the time whenever I had it, it wasn't really suiting my collection anymore, so it was time to let it go. I had actually bought it on Craigslist with a receipt and also the dust bag. She was actually selling it because she was just getting out of a relationship and didn't want anything that I guess her boyfriend or husband had purchased from her. I didn't really mind this story. I really did like the bag, and whenever I did sell it through Craigslist, literally sold it for I think just about the same price that I got it for. I think I added maybe like $50. Want to say I sold it for $450. I had met the buyer at the mall, so literally right after the sale I walked over to Louis Vuitton and I got my next piece. That is the 16mm Damier Ebene adjustable strap. It does come in two pieces. This has hefty gold hardware on both ends, and I got this one to use it as a strap option for my Pochette accessories in the Damier Ebene canvas. So this is what I ended up swapping or selling the Gucci Soho small chain bag for the Louis Vuitton Damier Ebene 16mm adjustable strap. The second item that I sold was by Louis Vuitton. This was the Delightful in the size with a PV interior, or that nice magenta color. I got this bag during a vacation in Cancun, Mexico. It was purchased by my then boyfriend, now husband, and this one I got it in the Monogram canvas. I really love this bag, especially the way that rich magenta color from the inside popped, and it was stunning. At the time I was obsessed with my Neverfull, and it was a tote style bag, but it was a little bit more relaxed, so I thought that I was going to enjoy it a lot. That was actually my second Louis Vuitton handbag. And the reason why I sold it was because whenever I got that bag was actually a display. It was literally the only one left in the store, so it was either get the floor model or get a different bag. And inside the store, there's a lot of bright lights, and it's so beautiful in there that you can't really tell the patina. The guy had said that it had been in display for about 3 days, so it was new to the store. I don't know how often they used to stock that location at the time. Probably now they'd stock it a little bit more, but Cancun's always been a tourist attraction area, so I don't know if it was there for 3 days or if it was there for much longer. Even walking out of the store, you really couldn't tell, especially being my very first untreated vachetta leather handbag. I really couldn't tell the difference. I thought that it was new. It was brand new and crisp. As I wore the bag, I did enjoy it and I really did like to use it, but I did find that it was already a little bit pre-patina even being in those bright lights whenever I did get it. So I was kind of bummed about the fact that I didn't really get to experience the full vachetta process from 0 to however long it is that I did have that handbag. The other reason why I sold it was also because of the vachetta. Not because I was scared to use it on the rain, but because this one had little vachetta pipe trimmings down on the bottoms. This really was rubbing against my jeans. I wear jeans a lot, or I did so more at that time, and it was really transferring onto the bag. And no, it wasn't stark blue. It was still something that you could really conceal whenever you were wearing, especially because it was at the very bottom. As far as the top decorative leather, that was in good condition. My actual handle, it did have some raindrops. It wasn't anything that was very profound or very noticeable. It was literally during a fast rain, so it was like skinny water droplets that were on the handbag. And I do find that you can't soak those up with a microfiber cloth as soon as it happens, if you do have one with you. I didn't. I still really did enjoy the bag even after that. However, because of the handbag having this leather trimmings down at the bottom, I was really getting more wear on the vachetta through that than being exposed to the sun or even water droplets, you know. I had gotten the Delightful in the size back in 2014, and I sold it to Fashionphile in 2020 for $950. I do still have the images from whenever I sold it, because whenever you sell to Fashionphile, or even whenever you purchase from Fashionphile, your history stays with your profile. So I can show you the exact images from the handbag that I did sell to Fashionphile. And this was one of the bags that I really still loved. The handbag, I loved the concept of it. So what I did with the money was I put it towards another tote bag by Louis Vuitton that is very similar. Let me grab it. So the bag that I am talking about is the Louis Vuitton Artsy in the Monogram canvas. Obviously, I still wanted to have a large tote style in my collection, and I did also get it in the monogram, so I was replacing a monogram for another monogram. And some similarities that this one has with the Delightful is that it does have leather trim at the top. The handle is also that untreated leather. They both have a key ring, so those features are still true to the Delightful, except with this one we no longer have the vachetta trimmings either at the top or in the base. So this was the handbag that I opted out for. I obviously did have to put more money to purchasing this bag compared to what Fashionphile had given me to sell it, but I still do think that it was a great way to kind of recycle money and be able to put it towards something that I was going to more so freely enjoy. And this one did come with some brass feet, whereas the Delightful does not have that, so it's just a little bit of a touch or an upgrade. I got this one in January of 2021, and my interior is not as fun as it was with the Delightful. I really did admire that pink color, and I'm actually thinking of maybe adding another Louis Vuitton piece with that same interior. I just don't know what yet, but this interior is in that microfiber lining, so it's more luscious. So I would like to say that I did get like a semi of an upgraded version of the Delightful by opting out for the Artsy in the size. Moving on to the third handbag that I did sell, that was the Louis Vuitton Pochette Metis in the Marine Rouge combination. This one was such a beautiful handbag. That navy is such a rich blue color. The interior was in a red, and it did have red glazing throughout the bag and on the strap. It did have gold hardware. This bag was so beautiful within my collection. It was the only leather handbag that I had from Louis Vuitton within my collection. I was purely in love, and quite honestly, I think that I would still have it to this day if it wasn't for the whole reason why I sold it. I did do a video on that handbag, and I do stand behind everything that I did say. I did actually miss the Pochette Metis, so whenever I do tell you what it is that I ended up getting, you probably would be able to understand. And the reason why I sold it was because on one particular corner on the front, it had some scuff marks. I did not notice that whenever I did purchase it from Fashionphile right away. I was just so excited. I knew that combination was beautiful in person, and by finding it at a great deal, it was pretty much in excellent condition except for that one detail. Whenever I decided to finally sell it, I looked back through my images of whenever I did purchase it, and I can see more in detail now, knowing exactly what I needed to look for in those photos. photos, I can tell that it was within the images, so it wasn't something I had personally done with the bag. I initially thought that that was the case. However, that was not the case. I am super careful with all of my pieces. Louis Vuitton does offer a leather dyeing service, so it is something that I could have taken into the store to get repaired possibly, or because of where it was located, they probably would not be able to repair it, or it was probably gonna be a more of a repair and leather re-dye worth of service charge. So I didn't really take it into Louis Vuitton to see what it is that they could do about the bag. I probably should have done it, but I didn't. I had purchased from Fashionphile in 2019. I paid $1,845 plus tax from Fashionphile. I did actually end up selling this handbag back to Fashionphile. They gave me $1,550 US for the handbag, and from the time that I bought it in like a September 2019, and then I sold it in around March 2021. Within that time period, it was essentially only like $325 that I was really losing, plus the tax that goes along with my original purchase. And I didn't really mind that. I kind of took it like a rental style of fee, which for the amount of time that I did have it and for however much I did wear it, I really did enjoy the piece. I thought that was a great deal, so I didn't feel bad whenever I did sell it. However, I did feel an emptiness because I love the handbag. It's so practical. It is great for on the go. So what I ended up getting instead was I got another handbag from Louis Vuitton. This one is the Pochette Metis in the navy nacre color with the silver tone hardware. This one does not feature the same size of LV monogram the way that one does in that Empreinte leather. This one is more so of the giant LV in this beautiful navy metallic leather. This has a microfiber interior, whereas my Marine Rouge handbag did not. It had that textile canvas lining in that red color, but this one is microfiber lining. So I got this one for two reasons. One, I love wearing silver, and having this one be in a silver tone color, I thought this was perfect. This was a limited edition shade. I really did like the way this color combination matches quite well with a lot of things in my closet, and I really did enjoy the Pochette Metis while it was a part of my collection that I went into the Louis Vuitton store to purchase one brand new at that retail price. I think this one was around $2,730 or $740, so it was much higher in price than, let's just say, if I would have gone back to the Louis Vuitton store to get the exact same handbag that I had sold. I want to say it was probably like $200 difference, but I think that this is so worth it. And now that I do have this one, I do want to consider adding another Pochette Metis into my collection. I just don't know in what variation I want it. I don't know if I want to do another Empreinte or if I want to go for one of the two canvas options that are available, but this is what I got. The fourth handbag that I sold, I actually sold it along with handbag number 5. The fourth handbag was by Gucci. This was the twin Gigi Hobo in black with that monogram brown color. It was one of those moon shaped tote bags. The hardware, it was in two different tones, in a silver and in a gold. Those two paired very well with the black of the leather and that brown monogram. The inside was a cloth style material, so very easy to clean, and it was also black. That one I had purchased from Fashionphile pre-owned. I had bought it for $416 back in 2016. I sold the handbag back to Fashionphile January of 2023 for $325. I want to say is the best purchase and the best sell I have done out of all of the handbags that I have sold, because I had it for 7 years and I only lost 91. So that was perfect, and it was just sweet enough to know that it did kind of hold its value somewhat. I really wasn't using it anymore. I did use it a lot in maybe that first 4 years of owning it, and then it just kind of sat in my collection. Could be because of COVID, we weren't really going anywhere, and then it just kind of got neglected. And then the second reason is similar to the reason I had for the Delightful. Color transfer was an issue. Where it sat, it was just about like hip level. It was touching just enough of my denim, monogram to where that friction was creating that color transfer onto the monogram. It was easy to take off. I did take it off with the magic eraser, just very so gently, just on the actual cloth portion. The magic eraser was working for me, and I was able to clean it right before selling it back to Fashionphile, so you couldn't tell that it had denim transfer. The third reason was because of the shape being rounded. All of my contents kind of shifted to that dead center, and whenever I would wear it, it was truly a hobo bag, which I know that's the name. It was drooping and sagging, so it kind of just looked like a sack on my shoulder. Didn't like the way it looked whenever I did have it on. Now whenever I took it off and then had it like on a table, on a bench, on my lap, it looked perfect. And for how little I had actually purchased this, I didn't really mind that too much. And actually my client advisor from Louis Vuitton had let me know that the Loop bag was going to premiere, but having that experience with a bag that had a similar shape than the Loop bag, I was just like, nope, I'm not gonna like how all of my stuff just kind of narrows down in the center. And the only difference between this one and the Louis Vuitton Loop bag is that the Loop bag, it's in canvas, and canvas is stiffer, so it does hold this shape more. So that one would actually be perfect because it would keep its form while I have it on. However, I don't want to deal with it, at least not right now. Possibly later on I might venture into another handbag of that style, and it's one of the reasons why I can really appreciate the Dior saddle, but only from afar. I don't think I could add that bag into my collection just because I don't like how my stuff just sinks down to a particular pile, angle, or side of the bag, if that makes any sense. I know it probably sounds crazy, but that's really and truly why I sold the bag. And then handbag number 5. This one is actually also a Gucci handbag, and I actually had purchased it because I thought that a prior Gucci handbag that I had was small. So this bag that I'm talking about is the Gucci Soho medium chain bag, also in the color black. It was literally the same, it's just it was a longer version of that small Soho chain bag that I had some years prior. And the Gucci handbag was a bag that I did really like. I did really use it a lot, and I was still actually using it before I decided to sell it, and it still did have the same qualities that the other one had. It also had the tassel size is the exact same from the small to that medium size, so it's not like it's shorter for the small compared to the next size up. And the interior is the exact same. The leather, it was that pebbled grain. One thing that I did notice, this one was easier to open than the other one, so they probably updated the magnet from the time that I had that other one so many years back to whenever I purchased this one. That one I had purchased from Gucci, actually a Gucci outlet, back in September or August 2021, and then I sold it to Fashionphile in January 2023. I had purchased it, I want to say it was like $980 plus tax, and then I sold it to Fashionphile for $800. I did not think that was bad. It was $130-ish for that year and some months that I did own it, so I didn't think it was bad at all. I had a good return on it. It was still in great condition, but the reason why I sold that one was because where the chain is located at, the glazing was kind of separating a little bit, and it was making the leather crack just a tad bit. There was a ton of life left in this bag, so it's not like I was selling something that was like in fair or good condition versus excellent condition. It was still in very great condition. I just didn't want to sit there and know that it wasn't too old in my collection and it was showing that kind of wear. The corners were fantastic. The pebble grain was wearing great. You couldn't tell any scratches or any of those kind of exterior everyday wear kind of marks. You couldn't tell that in the leather at all. It really did look fantastic. It wasn't misshaped or anything. It was just that on those ends it was showing wear that I wasn't really happy with for the amount of time that I had it in my collection. And with the funds of those two handbags, I went into Louis Vuitton and I got a classic handbag. This one was something that was in my wish list for quite some time. I just didn't really know if I wanted to get this one or another item that I had in my wish list, but I ended up opting out for the Alma PM in the Damier Ebene canvas. It's such a beautiful and gorgeous bag, very timeless. This one retailed for $1,960 US, so I did have to add in just a little bit, not too much, which made the deal quite nice, and I was very happy because again, that was one of the handbags that was in my wish list for quite some time. Being able to acquire it finally, and knowing that I did love Damier Ebene, and plus this one in particular. Same with my Louis Vuitton Trevi. I don't know if it's because they're older, so it kind of has to have that older characteristic or something, but with the hardware on this bag and then that one too, it's so shiny, so it makes everything just more luxe. Looking back at my summary of all of the items that I have sold, I haven't really lost too much money, and I was able to get items that I have loved since buying them, so it was a good call of getting those pieces after selling or departing with those other ones, and I'm quite happy with my selection so far. If you have any handbags that you have sold, let us know what those are and why, and what did you end up buying. If you have any questions, please let me know what that is down below. Please don't forget to check the description bar for any of the items that I did mention in case you are interested in any of them. I want to thank you so very much for spending a little bit of your day with me, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.